Hi there, I'm Shan Holderness, and welcome to Health Unraveled. I'm a nutritionist, counsellor, and eating psychology coach, and in my almost decade of experience in the health industry, have seen far too many women and men become consumed with weight loss, only to end up yo-yo dieting with disordered eating patterns and in binge and restrict cycles. This just breaks my heart, so I'm here to unravel everything you thought you knew about health and yourself, to help you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together and begin the process of aligning your mind, body, and soul, creating a happier, healthier you. So let's dive straight in. Welcome back to another episode of Health Unraveled. Today, I really wanted to share with you some of the audio from the first workshop in a 3-part series that I held within Self Honor School. And this workshop was around what self-honor is and how it looks within a day. Now, the recording of this is available for free within Self Honor School, which is also free for you to join. The link will be in the show notes. There was a presentation that went along with what I was talking about, but I thought I'd provide you at least with the audio so you can start to get a bit of an understanding of what self-honor actually is and what it looks like within a day. What does it even mean, right? So enjoy this beautiful audio, and I hope you're able to gain something beautiful from it. Welcome to Self Honor School Part 1. I'm very, very, very excited to bring this to you today. I've created a beautiful presentation to go along with it. I feel like it helps kind of work through the topics that we're going to talk about today. So in this part 1, I will be discussing what actually is self-honor. What is it, and what does it even look like in a day? So self-honor, and I really want to put this quote here. So self-care is not indulgent, it's self-preservation. And by the time you finish this recording, you will understand that through and through. So many people who responded to polls I put up on Instagram recently feel like they just give and give and give and give to everyone else and yet lack the care for themselves. And that's where Self Honor School was born. So hi, I'm Shan. Hopefully, if you're in this container, you know me by now, or you've been following me for some time, or maybe even working with me already. I am a conscious mother in which we prioritize conscious parenting for Charlie. I am a wife. I'm a full-time uni student, so I've just finished my graduate certificate of counselling, and I start next January on the next step towards my Masters of Counselling. I'm a full-time business owner, and I am an autoimmune warrior. Now, right there, you might look at that and see many reasons why I would struggle with self-care. But when I look at them, I look at the many reasons why it matters even more to me so that I can continue doing all these things, especially with an autoimmune condition. So I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis. I also have Ross River fever and glandular fever, along with chronic asthma, breathing pattern disorder, and vocal cord dysfunction. So there's a whole heap of things in there that I could often use as excuses. But for me, they are actually my driving forces. They are my reasons, because if I don't look after myself, I cannot continue with the workload that I have. So it's even more essential for me to dive into and lean into what I'm about to teach you. So I kind of just spoke on this, why self-honor is so important to me. The more I give to myself, the more I have to give to you guys, to my clients, to my family, and to those around me. I realized over time that honoring me was the best way to honor those around me. I couldn't do all of the things that I do if I didn't prioritize my self-care through self-honor. If I didn't honor my needs, my decisions, my desires, my intuition, if I didn't honor any of those things, I wouldn't be able to do what I do in a day. I'm going to put my chair down so you can see my whole head. So that is why self-honor is so, so, so important to me. It's an essential factor in my life to honor myself. So therefore I can honor my family and my friends. You know, I wouldn't be able to be patient with Charlie if I didn't look after myself. I wouldn't be able to support Josh when he needs it if I didn't look after myself. I wouldn't be able to provide things like this and have the energy to do these things to help you if I didn't look after myself first. So my commitment in my marriage was actually a commitment to myself. And some people may find that really, really selfish. Usually when you get married and you say your vows, it's like you're promising to another person. But for me, it was actually a commitment to me. And I'd love to share with you something really vulnerable to me. And I did post a snippet of these on my Instagram the other day. But this is actually a part of my wedding vows when Josh and I got married. In the words of one of my favorite authors, Dr. Shafali, to truly love another means to truly love ourselves. As we awaken, we realize that we've never loved ourselves fully because we haven't even known ourselves. To get to know ourselves means to go on a path of self-discovery. Josh, you've been there and supported me through all the peaks and valleys of this path of self-discovery, and boy, have we encountered some roadblocks. You've been my absolute rock through our darkest days and my sunshine on our brightest. And together we've been able to create such a safe and supportive place to individually learn about ourselves. It's not been an easy path to navigate, but it's been something so important to the both of us. Today isn't the day that we say, look at us, we made it. But it's a day that we can each say in front of our nearest and dearest and in front of this incredible human that we're raising that I'm so excited to continue on this roller coaster ride together into eternity. Today, when we unite, it's neither contractual or obligatory. Our love and unity today comes from completion and not incompletion, choice and not necessity. I choose you. I choose us. I choose our family. I choose myself, and I choose this incredible life that we're creating. And that is my promise to you. My promise is to always stay true to myself, to assess and reassess my values and remain true to them. My promise is to open up my biggest, deepest wounds and allow them to heal and invite you to share this journey with me. It is to listen to my inner knowing and to cultivate a deep love within myself. Because through loving myself, I'm bringing my highest, most complete self to the table, each and every day to the best of my ability. Some days I will be smiling and full of life, and some days I'll be on my knees in tears. But I know it'll be the best I can bring at that time. And I promise to encourage you to always do the same. I promise to be aware of and encourage you to remain in alignment with your core values and support you as you fight for your dreams and goals. To remind you of your own light when you see the darkness creeping in and to tame the demons that once haunted you. I will walk in front of you when you need help to see the path clearly. I will walk behind you when you need some extra support. And my favorite place to be is to walk beside you as we watch the beauty that unfolds around us together. I'm feeling a bit teary and a bit goosebumpy after reading that. However, I really wanted to share that because that's how deep my level of commitment to myself is that when Josh and I committed to each other, we were actually committing to ourselves and to go on this journey together. I didn't want to get married out of incompletion. I've been there. I've done that before. Um, I didn't want anything in my life to be something that completes me, but rather something that aligns with me. And those are two very, very, very different things. I don't depend on or rely on anything in my life to fill my voids because I choose to do that in my own ways. I choose to recognize that and to heal these voids so that they're actually not there. They're not big gaping holes to be filled anymore. So what does self-honor in a day look like? It can be so hard to prioritize yourself. I know this. I've been there. Some days I am still there. I'm like, how the hell do I have time to do anything for myself? And that fear that everything on your plate will come crashing to the ground without you there to hold it up. But what if self-honor actually enabled you to be more steady with all that you carry? It's not about putting down the plate as such, but it is about strengthening you and assessing whether what's on the plate actually needs to be there or not. There's so many ways that we can apply self-honor. So I thought I'd share a few ways that I apply it in my day-to-day life. One of the biggest and most important ones is taking time in silence to connect with myself. So it's knowing to listen to my intuition. That's so important to be able to connect in, and we'll touch on that in part 2. It's working through limiting beliefs and inner child wounds to create a deeper understanding of myself. So I practice this in many, many different ways, but a part of it is through kindness, through journaling, and just through curiosity as well. Knowing when to say no. And a part of this comes back to your intuition and your inner knowing. Knowing when to say no and knowing how to teach people how to treat you. the ability to ask for help when it's needed. I know we think, especially as women, we should be able to do it all on our own, but the fact is that we just can't all the time, and that's okay. It's having confidence that my feelings are valid without then reacting with my feelings, but responding to my feelings instead. It's nourishing my body for the long term without missing out on what I love. So I'm able to assess what it is that I really need in a moment for my long term and my short term combined. And it's moving my body in ways that make me feel good. And sometimes that is just smashing it out with a crazy session at the gym. Sometimes it's going for a beautiful walk. Sometimes it's just laying in bed and having a slow morning with my family. I know which one I need, and I listen to my body's needs. What if you could? The possibilities are endless. What kind of parent could you become, and what lessons would you be able to impart on your little ones through your own journey if you were able to teach them self-honor? What kind of worker or business owner could you become if you truly honored and nurtured yourself? What kind of connection could you have if you were this so deeply connected to yourself? What kind of connections could you cultivate in your life if you were so deeply connected to yourself? So if you are currently feeling exhausted all the time, chronically stressed, you feel like you're unable to give yourself the time and space that you need, if you're scared of what commitment to yourself actually looks like, or perhaps you've tried to focus on your health in the past and you were unable to sustain it, and that's scared you away. If you feel like you're always looking after everyone else and have nothing left in the tank for yourself, and if you're beginning to feel, or you may already be deeply within resentment for the lack of you time, then you need self-honor. Self-honor is the only way out of this place if this is what you are currently feeling. So I wanted to break down the pillars of self-honor, and I want you to have a look at each of these words and what they mean to you. So introspection, identity, intention, intrinsic motivation, and integration. And I'm going to break each of these down and how they fit into this self-honor story. So the first one is introspection. Until the conscious becomes conscious, it shall rule your life and you will call it fate. Until you bring things to your awareness, it will rule your life and you'll say, that's just how things are. That's just how I am. That's just how life goes. That's just my luck. That is not the truth. Straight up, that is not the truth if you stop allowing it to be your truth. Introspection is the ability to know yourself without any masks. It's a humbling process, and yet it's so essential to find out why you think, do, and say certain things so that then you can grow. It allows us to hold empathy and understanding for ourselves, whilst non-judgmentally taking responsibilities for all of the areas that are not aligned. So we need honesty within this process of introspection. You can never run away, never. The only way out is in. The only way out of this place that you're in, the reason that you're here, is to go within. You cannot outwork it, you cannot outrun it. Identity. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. This kind of ties into fate and what we think is fate. Identity is knowing who you are and what you stand for. Are you a busy mum who's constantly rushing around their kids and never has time for herself? Or are you a conscious mum who prioritizes her time for herself so that she's able to navigate the incredible yet challenging world of motherhood? You choose. Don't let your struggle become your identity. The amazing thing with identity is that you get to choose it. And it's so incredibly powerful to choose. Intention. Make your intentions clear. The universe doesn't respond well to uncertainty. Intention is the process of knowing what your purpose is. This is why the goal of losing weight is often ineffective to follow through with new behaviors, because it's not a strong enough intention. What is the purpose of what you're doing? How is it clear and how is it meaningful? Our intention creates our reality. And from intention, when we know what it is that we're actually trying to achieve, we can then look at intrinsic motivation, which is the next step. You can look to external sources for motivation, and that can catalyze a change. but it will not sustain one. It has to stem from an internal desire. Intrinsic motivation is a fire from within. And chances are, if someone lights up a fire underneath you, it'll be very short-lived. And that's what we rely on, right? With extrinsic motivation, which is the opposite of intrinsic. So extrinsic is based off of external factors, results and outcome based. It's short-term and it's driven by expectation. So you imagine you're sitting down and you're trying to get warm. So you're trying to light a fire because you need to keep warm. But someone, you keep relying on someone lighting one underneath you instead. And so you keep having to hop up and be like, oh, that's uncomfortable. Go sit down, try again. Oh, hop up, that's uncomfortable. Go sit down, try again. That's the roller coaster ride of motivation, right? It's up and down and up and down and up and down. It gets you moving and you think you're going somewhere, but you're really not doing what you internally needed to do in the first place, which was light your own damn fire. So intrinsic motivation is based on internal factors. It's enjoyment and interest based. It is long term and it's driven by purpose. And I want to show you the difference here. So with extrinsic motivation, I'm doing this to lose weight. I lose motivation when I can't see results and I jump to the next thing. I see my actions as a chore. It's too hard to change. I get upset and disappointed with the process easily, especially if I don't see the results I was hoping for. As opposed to, I'm doing this to live a happier, more purposeful lifestyle because I thoroughly enjoy the process. My actions became cemented as habits for the long term, and I do it because I enjoy it. Incredible. Integration. Integration is a very powerful step. After you've spent some time looking within and understanding you and who you are and what you want, then we get to integrate it in your life. Integration occurs when all the parts of your being are in harmony, and this takes constant reflection, which is really important. Integration is the ability to bring all of your work to fruition and integrate yourself and be open to all of the possibilities of what's to come when you're living your most aligned self. It is the ability of implementing changes and assessing how they sit with your life. And within integration is that essential step of testing and adjusting, constantly reassessing. And the levels kind of just keep unraveling within integration. It's so beautiful. Integration is a basic law of life. When we resist it, disintegration is the natural result, both inside and outside of us. So I'm going to leave it at that for this training. What I really want you to know is that with self-honor, if you're not practicing self-honor, the opposite of honor, if you're not honoring, you're punishing. That is literally the opposite of honor is punishment. And so if you're not honoring yourself right now, you are punishing yourself, which means you are holding yourself back and you're beating yourself up and you're letting yourself down. And that is such a powerful understanding to have. And that first step of introspection is to look within and be like, holy shit, that's what I'm doing. And that's okay because I'm doing this because it's the best I've known how to do. Until now, when Sean comes along and shows you a new way. So I hope that was really enjoyable. From here, your next step is to go through to part 2. From part 2, there is a worksheet to fill out ready for part 3. So I look forward to seeing you there. I hope you enjoyed the audio recording from Self-Honor School Workshop Part 1. Like I said in the intro, you will be able to find all the rest within Self-Honor School. The links will be in the show notes, and I look forward to seeing you there. If you loved this episode, please let me know by leaving me a review or sharing this with your friends. It's so important for me to get this information out to those that need to hear it. So your feedback means the absolute world to me. And also if you have any topic requests, hit me up with them too.